Hello, everyone. Welcome to Whip Finish Wednesday. We're excited to see everyone hopping on this evening. My name is John DeMuth. On the other side of the computer, we've got Katie. She's going to be chiming in on us and saying hello and doing a little
Hello.
giveaway in a little bit. So, hey, Katie. So, as we just wait on a few people to hop on here and tell us they're ready to go, we'll get started. And we're going to do a few things tonight. I'll go ahead and get Instagram going so they don't feel all left out. What's up, Chris? And good evening to Jimmy as well. And hey, Randy. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight. Of course, we're going to tie fly. Katie's going to show off some other flies. Hey, Freddie, you made it on. Good. But today I received my favorite Christmas present of the year so far, anyway, and that's this coffee cup. Mm. Yep, the water tastes good. But so I figured I'd break out the old coffee cup and we'll talk about some Christmas presents as well. Hey, two dry fly, thank you for hopping on. And what's up, Ryan on Instagram? Everyone on Instagram, if you can, hop over on YouTube and you'll be able to see us a little bit better. But throughout the time, if you got any questions about some Christmas gifts or what you ought to ask for, let me know. But we will talk about some of our favorite tools and the such. What's up on stream, Assassins and Seth Weir? What's up? I haven't seen you on here in quite a while. Randall, glad to be. Yeah, I'm glad you got off as well. And so, with that said, Katie's going to show off some pictures here in just a second, and she's also going to talk about the drawing for next week. And then we'll get tying on Lance Egan's Tungsten Surveyor, and we'll talk about that as well. So,
Lance Egan spelled Egan.
That's right. We've only shared his flies, 50 times or so.
I should know that.
And Joel's ready to bang some flies out. What's up, Blazing Outdoors? Take it away, Katie.
Okay, so we had a really great turnout this week on Instagram with all of the awesome Royal Wolf variation flies. So in a second, I want to share some of those pictures because they were great. And first, I want to say that next week we're going to do a giveaway with some Umpqua products, starting with the double loop spinner right here. So this is at the Dreamstream.
Yep.
And you can see that it's the double loop spinner Dreamstream by Umpqua. And we're also going to give away a pair of their razor scissors, another Dreamstream product from Umpqua. So thanks to the folks at Umpqua. And you guys are going to love these two products if you are the winner for next week. And we're also wanting to send a message out to Judge To Be Good, because we never did hear from you last week. You were our winner in our drawing last week for the fly box that had
2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
2 weeks ago? Okay. It was a fly box that had a row of flies in it that were tied. Were they the Frenchies?
It was this one right here. There you go.
So
the iridescent Frenchies.
Yeah, the iridescent Frenchies. So Judge Too Good 1033. If you watch this live stream, send us a message and let us know what your address is so that we can mail you your gift. If we don't hear from you, we're going to give this away next week with the Umpqua Dreamstream stuff. So I hope that we hear from you. You've got a week. And before we go back to John for some tying, I just wanted to share a few pictures of the Royal Wolves that we got this week with you guys because they were so awesome. So let's get going on that. We've got two.
And that's a biot band. So it's a biot that's the red in the middle.
And Bill. Love that.
That's a cool one.
On top. Catherine Valencius. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, but I hope that's right. Catherine.
I really like that blue band. It's a pretty color.
And Christine Gonzalez. And Christine, we mailed you your ruffed grouse skin. So let us know if you get that. Electric Tire.
That's the Gary Barnes special. He was screaming for white and black last week.
Love it. Flies by Chris. Nice picture. Really nice background. Everything looks so nice. Freddie.
Freddie's on here.
Jimmy Roop.
And Jimmy's on here.
And Mama.
And Keisha and Wes, I believe, are on here.
So those were super awesome. And I'm sure that I missed some, but all the pictures. So if I missed yours, I'm sorry. But I just wanted to share those because they're so cool. And so many of you guys did one. So way to go. So let's get back to what we're going to do this week. Lance Egan, EGAN.
And what's up, Lid Rig over on Instagram, and Trout Addict NL said he's got those razor scissors and he really likes them. So that's super cool. And Miguel says, hey guys. So and what's up, Daddy Angler on Instagram. New flashback, wait on kiddos, yoga to finish, and watching time. Awesome. And Trout Addict, your Wally wings did make the cut. They were really good. You're the only ones with Wally wings, and I thought they looked awesome. But Katie just went through and grabbed some. Maybe she might not have seen it. It was kind of a last minute thing. So, and Daddy Angler, hey to you. I hope you're watching on YouTube as well with the rest of the family. So we'll go ahead and get started here. And for those on Instagram, I'm not going to forget. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and get you where you can actually see the fly somewhat. There we go. So the Tungsten Surveyor, this is a really good pattern from Lance Egan. And one of the, yes, here we go. Have my coffee cup right where it belongs. It's a great pattern to have on hand. It's super easy to tie. And one of the nice things about it is we carry two, I guess, configurations. Commercially, it's available on a scud hook. And when you look up how to tie it, you'll see it tied on jig hook. And that's exactly how we carry it, both on a scud and a jig. When I'm throwing a 2 nymph rig system, I like throwing my point fly or the bottom fly. I like for that to be a jig hook because that's typically what's on the bottom. And the middle fly or the dropper fly, I'm not too worried about it either way, but I typically like throwing more of a scud hook or like a little midge or something. I'm not really worried about that one being on a jig hook. It's fine if it is, but I like having that second one typically on a more of a curved shank hook. So with both the Rainbow Warrior and this pattern, a lot of times we'll start off with this on the scud hook design on that second fly, on the top fly. And we've had times with both the patterns where the fish have bit that top fly and left the bottom one alone, and then we'll put the jig version of the fly on the bottom. So, but anyway,
and we've had some times where a fish has bit the top fly and the bottom fly.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
This is true. And Keisha, I saw your comment earlier. Trout Deceiver from Down Under. Good evening. Good evening to you, sir. We saw your comment about my coffee cup, and that was the very beginning. I said, this is my favorite Christmas present so far this year. Coworker gave this to me, so thank you to Catherine for my new coffee cup. It made my day, and it's pretty cool. So this evening, we'll talk about Christmas gifts. So if you have someone on your list or you just don't know what to ask for, we can talk about some of the tools and such that we use and maybe give you some ideas. But it's not really going to be a sales pitch. It's just whatever we've got on hand right here that we use. So
we have nothing on hand.
We don't. I never have the right. Just ask Gary Barnes. I never have the right color ever.
It's pitiful.
So in the Vise here, we have this is a size 16 version. And because of the camera, it is showing absolutely every fiber on there. Size 16 version of the Tungsten Surveyor on a jig hook. This one has a 2.5 millimeter tungsten bead, 0.2 millimeter. So we'll go over the materials. It has the 0.2 millimeter bright silver wire. It's got, I like using the Mirage stencil. This is the 1.5 millimeter Mirage stencil. You got lead wire, lead free wire. Wapsie South Scud Dub. So if I can throw it. So and this is the Rainbow South Scud Dub right here. And bead and red thread. This is the 12-aught Silverfly Classic Wax thread. So that's our material list for how we tie this fly. And I will keep on saying it. If you're on Instagram, look us up on YouTube. We're live on YouTube. So hop over there. You'll be able to see it a little bit better. And we'll switch this over. And here is this is size 18. So this is the size that I like to throw. And Katie likes to throw as well. She'd asked me to tie a bunch of Rainbow Warriors. And I was so proud of her because the only size she wanted was 18s.
That's it.
So this will be a good alternative to a Rainbow Warrior if you're looking for something else. So we'll get started. We'll start off with size 14 just so you can see it a little better. The hook I'm going to be using is the Umpqua XC 400BL in size 14. Then we'll switch over. We might do a size 16, and we'll do a size 18 on that Scud hook. So what's up, Don? And Truman made it on. What's up, True Man? Okay, so I'm gonna put a 3mm bead, 3mm slotted tungsten silver bead on this. Here we go, on this hook, and it probably gonna help if I put my glasses on so I could see the hole. Yep, definitely should have. Let's do that now. Now I'll look really funny when I try to read the comments with his glasses on. And we need to get Jeopardy music so Katie can play it in the background.
We do.
Okay. So we got our bead in the on the hook and the vise. And we want to start off by putting lead on. Now we have that's what I'm talking about. Truman, Chris, and Nan, and Keisha, and Patrick. Everyone say, hey, Patrick. Patrick! Keisha wins. So we finished filming. Katie's doing some final editing on some deer hair stacking techniques, which is using, obviously, stackers. And everything from big ones to little ones. And probably the next tip video is going to be how to wrap lead wire, because it's really simple. But there's one somewhat, when you're new or if you haven't got the feel of it, it can be an absolute pain to do it. You want to have any fly fishing and reading recommendations? I want to get some books for Christmas. That new one from Pat Dorsey is I can't remember the name of it, but I really want to get that book. Pat Dorsey's new one. So when you're wrapping wire, wrap it backwards. So you can see in the top left of your screen, I'm holding the tag in. Just grab it with just enough that you can hold on to it. And then I'm going to hold the spool in my other hand. And you want to grab it. I'm going to put about 8 wraps on, but I'm wrapping I'm trying not to bend it too much. This is 010 wire, so it's pretty thin. So I'm going to do 8 wraps. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now this is wrapping the opposite way that I normally wrap thread. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, when I get to the end here, I'm still holding on to the tip, and I just take the end with the spool on it, and I just kind of wiggled off just like it's tying wire, and it'll pop off right there by the on the shank. So you don't have a tag to deal with, you don't have anything to deal with, no problem at all. Then I take my fingernail and just push it up, make sure my bead is going the correct way, and right now doesn't look like it is. There we go. Now we got the bead correct. So now I just take my finger, kind of lock it in there, and I grab the tag in with my other hand. And the same thing, I just kind of walk it down. Or what's not walk it down? Helicopter it off. And then it'll helicopter right there. I don't have to use my fingernail to squish it down. I don't have to use scissors to do anything else. It's just an easy way to do wire on that. 10 Bonefish liked it enough. Well, lid rig, I should have looked at. I think I saw you. Was that you tying live last night? What's up, Brandon? There you go.
You guys are giving some great
I
suggestions
tell
on
you,
books.
you guys are
Like every time they say one, it's one that I was thinking.
cool. Well, we got a few Mike Wallace books. I've been meaning to get. There's another one that
We've got the feather benders
Feather,
technique.
yep. Okay, so with that, now we got our lead on there. We won't spend quite as much time on lead for the rest of them, but that's my, that was you, yeah, quote, tying.
Don't forget the lead.
So when we start the thread, I'm going to start right behind that bead, or right behind the lead, and I just bring it, oh, shoot. A lid rig, you should have been drinking out of a real cup. Unfortunately, it's backwards there, but I'd say there's some times that cup would have been appropriate to use while you're tying last night, while you're tying last night. But anywho, so we've got our thread started, and we'll bring it back because we wrapped in the opposite direction. Now when I make wraps forward like this, see, I'm just going forward. I'm building up a little bit of a taper behind the lead. Right here, you can see the tag end of that lead. My thread is not catching and going in between the lead wraps. See what I mean? And that's because we wrapped literally backwards. So now I'll just kind of hop on top, go down, got our lead somewhat covered. And I'll bring our thread back to the hook end. Probably do one more. So we got a lead on there. Yeah, Kelly's book's on the new one. That's what I was saying, Chris. I don't have Pat Dorsey's book yet, but I want to get it. I do want to get it. All right, so on the next material we're going to use is pheasant tail. It's just center feathered pheasant tail, nothing fancy on it. Now this is size 14. Just subtract about 2 fibers as you go down in size. So 10, 12 fibers, something like that should be fine for a size 14. 8, 10 fibers on a size 16. On that 18, 6, 8 fibers. Something like that should be fine. Give me a signed edition. Well, Chris, maybe we could, we'll call Pat up and get us a couple signed editions. I'm sure he'll maybe happy to do that. Well, son of a gun. I tell you, when you get a pheasant tail and it just is really brittle.
I love that pheasant tail.
This is not the good. This one looks good. It just doesn't. This is.
Is this one that? Here's a picture of one.
This is one you photographed.
Yeah, it's up there.
But it's just really brittle. So it looks pretty.
It does.
All right. So we got our about 10, 12 fibers. So here at this point, I just grab it, kind of pull it down where I have the tips from my left hand. Do it. Grab. I'm gonna do a pinch wrap. That's gonna set those fibers right on top. So you see you got hook shank on one side, hook shank on the other side. So that's sitting right on top, but it's way too long. So we want to grab the whole bundle, hold my thread up. So you can see my thread's going straight up. And I want to pull until I get the length that I want. Now, you don't want it too long at all. Like that's about right. I'm going to bring this around. Now I'll hold my thread tight and pop it off like this. Okay. Now you see
okay, Davey McPhail.
I know that is a Lance Egan trick. That's Pat for one to give away for Whipfinish Wednesday. Why don't you ask him, Michael? I bet if you ask him, then he might. He likes
Michael better.
We bought one. He gave us a deal on it, but we bought one of his other books to give away because usually I've got it. Yeah, I do have it right here. This is probably, we're talking about Pat Dorsey, his new book. And as far as Christmas presents, if you don't have this or you're trying to buy for a tire and they don't have this book, this is probably one of my favorite books. I mean, I've got 5 bajillion tying books, and this is one that's always back over here to look at. Great patterns in here. Definitely highly recommend that. But we gave one of these away, and Pat met us in Atlanta. And a bunch of you guys met up with us in Atlanta with Pat Dorsey. And we gave gave this book away.
That was fun.
So that was pretty cool. And I'd say Pat's going to be in Edison this year, and we're going to be in Edison. So that'd be a fun little trip. Brandon, sorry, great tip on the tail count. How about for a size 12? I can't. There's a glare on this thing, buddy. I'm sorry. I just add a couple. So 12, 14, round up, do 12. And it also kind of depends on the quality of the pheasant tail.
That is a tad brittle. Now that I look at it.
See, I mean, and they were straight. They're just not the best. But it's one of those, like, it's Instagram, like that was like junk on Instagram, but you can grab it, pinch it off. Yeah, it's a little bit better. But as far as, so we'll get back to the tying real quick. So as far as the length of the tail, like if we're talking about blowtorch, typically we cut it off right here, right? We don't, this does not need to be the hook shank length. This should be roughly, I'm going to measure with my scissors. I'll measure like this so you all can see it better. So roughly here's my tail length. And so there. So that's actually a touch on the long side. This does not, and I'll fix it like this when I go back and do the wire. I'm gonna cut off a piece of 2mm silver wire. Hey, Ed's gonna be Edison. Cool. Hey, Jeff Rowley, I was kind of thinking about you and when I got my coffee cup. Thought you'd enjoy that one because I think you've said this comment to me a few times on the show.
You're really proud of that.
I am proud of it. Okay, so I'm going to tie the wire on my side of the hook, but I'm going to have the point of the wire start right behind my lead wire. There you go. See, I shortened it up a little bit. Just put another wrap on there, shorten up that tail. So point is, the tail's supposed to be kind of short. Don't make it long. I will say you can definitely make it too long. It'd be hard to make it too short. Everyone on Instagram, hop over on YouTube if you can. If you can't, then that's all right too. So for the dummy, John's really proud of that cup. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Okay, so for the dummy, I'm just going to pull off a little chunk here. And I'm going to take it like this, and I'm just going to pull off little sections of it. So you see I've got just a little bit here. I'm going to pull my thread down, and I just put the section on my finger, and then twist it on. And I want to keep the body, which is from the back of the where the tail and the thread meet, all the way up to a little past the lead. I'm going to keep the body thin. I basically just want to cover up the that red thread. I don't want to add much bulk, and I don't really. I'll probably put way too much on this. I don't really want to build a taper into my thread because I've got a taper. Look on the hook here. See, I've already got the taper built in with the lead and the thread. So I've got a nice taper there. I don't need to add like a big chunky taper to this part of the body anyway. So we'll slide this up. And I've got my thread back here, right by the bead. So I'm just going to bring it back. Yeah, maybe. There we go. So I'm going to bring my thread back so it starts right at the tail. So just like this. Like I said, I'm not trying to build much bulk at all. So just side by side, touching wraps. If you get a thin place in the dubbing, that's fine. Just you can overlap that. Let's see. Now it kind of went down a little bit there. So I'll just come up and put maybe one more wrap there. And I'm going to pull this off. And do another wrap. So it's be okay if I left that there, but that one's a little bit long. So I'll cut that off. So now we've got you can see the taper that's in there, and that's perfect. That was not built into the the dubbing. So now I'm going to wrap my wire. Now this is probably one difference. Lance wraps his wire the same direction as he does the thread. I like to counter wrap it. So I tied it in on my side. So my first wrap, I go under the hook shank and around. And I'm just bringing some nice making some nice segmentation, getting a little extra flash, making it look G-U-D. Good.
I think that's good.
Well, you know. So
maybe G-E-W-D.
G-E-W-D.
Good. Good.
Okay, so the way I'm capturing the wire off, because it's counter wrap, I take my thread and I cross it over. I'm not going the same direction. I cross it over, do kind of loose wrap, and then a tight wrap in front of it. I did that 3 times. Now I can just helicopter that off. So now we've got our body done. And I wish you could take this off for a second. How's it look now? Go back to the hook, please. You can kind of see. You can see the segmentation in there. No. But the wire shows up really good here.
Oh, I can see it.
Good.
It looks good.
All right. So now I'm just trying to wrap my thread back a little bit. I want this part to be roughly the width of the bead, roughly. And if I don't bring my thread back where I'm going to tie the tinsel in very much at all, then my little wing case is going to be too small. So I just bring that thread back. It's right there. Now we're ready to go. So the next material is going to be the holographic tinsel, 1.5 millimeters. And pull this off. A little bit of it, fold it over. Okay. All right, so we're tying this on. All you do is you just hold it by the tip like this. Kind of get it to where it's, I'm trying to think of a good way to say it. It's just going straight up and down right now with the edge of it on my side of the fly. So when I bring my thread and bring it down like that, it just folds it over. I can look at it and see if it's not good, I can undo it. Like that one is pretty terrible. That's better. Too long, but I can pull it length. Well, that's not really one to pull, but okay. Okay, so we got that ready to go forward. It is pretty much in the middle. And now, so we're going to dub this next part a little bit different than we did the earlier part. Thanks to John, I was having so many. Boy, that's what she said. Trust me, that's a lot of times. I've thought that a lot the past couple weeks.
What do you have in your mug? It's condensing. Is there ice in there?
Yeah, it's just I dumped my Yeti cup.
Oh, you put your ice water in there.
Yeah. So so I'm gonna take my dubbing again, exact same stuff, pull it out, get my chunk. As opposed to getting like really small, let's go over to the tying desk. As opposed to getting really small pieces like I did before and dubbing on there really tight, I'm gonna take this whole chunk and do it. Might be able to do this all in one big piece. So as you can see, that needle's a lot thicker. There's a little bit of taper. It's thinner here, kind of chunkier in the middle. We'll slide it up. Make sure I've got everything kind of cleaned off. Probably won't need this piece, but I might. I'm going to put it back in here just for the hay of it. And now we'll bring it around, try to get a little. Now you can see it's going to be pretty fat compared to the rest of the fly. See, that's kind of chunky. It does not look the best. It could even be chunkier, but I'm going to hold my tinsel down so my Velcro doesn't grab onto it, and I just start being rough with it. I'm going to knock the top down a little bit, and then I'm going to take the sides and bang them off a little bit. Gee, the ball, I just keep hearing Michael Scott. Yeah. All right. So now we're going to knock the bottom off a little bit. And see, I keep thinking that about the coffee cup now. See, that's what someone on just every time just put what did he use? TWSS. And we'll all know what you're talking about. Okay, so now I've got that part done. I'm gonna bring this forward, stroke everything back, bring it around. We'll put a couple wraps to lock that in. And before I really lock it in, we'll look at it. Make sure that's going straight up and down. And it is. Pull tight. Bring this back. Put 2 more wraps. And now I can take this and just clip the side of it like that, and we'll pull right off. So we've got that got that done. Now, one of the neat things about Misha says hello. Keisha says hello as well to you. I've totally lost my train of thought. So I'm gonna bring this over. I'm gonna pull this up. Yes, it is upside down. I'm gonna grab right here. I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna put my scissors right up to the hook point and cut. So that's kind of my length. If as I was roughing it up, there's some back here that needs to be trimmed off, that's fine. You can trim it off. I don't remember what I was saying. This is a pattern that Lance, when he started tying this, he really liked hare's ears. So this is basically a hare's ear just with material substitutions. So Lance, a lot of times will use a red thread collar is a hot spot behind the bead. So I don't like a huge red collar. Do you see that red collar there? So if I put 3 more wraps, 1, 2, 3, that's how it will look right there with a 5-turn whip finish, because I put 5 total wraps on there. I might want it a touch thicker, but I don't want it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to put that much on there. But that's just my personal preference. Do how much you want. But my point is, if you'll just wrap it, you can kind of see how much your whip finish is going to put on there, as opposed to building your whip finish and then wrapping it, or wrapping it, then whip finishing, and then having a collar that's bigger than what you wanted. I hope that made sense with a red color, and they're very productive. Yep. Well, that's not going to work as a whip finisher. Here we go. So a little Sally Hansen's on here. Got that red collar on there. Now we're got that one fiber, and I wanted to pull these up and cut it before I oh boy. Okay. I was like, golly, Katie, you're scaring me. There's something going on. I can't see. So we got this all done. Yes, Misha. Where did she go? What are you doing? Yeah, when you try to talk to her, she doesn't want to talk. So, quick tour. Oh, Misha, Michael is always asking. He's too dry fly. He's always asking about you. Come here. He's always asking about you, making sure you're okay. And can you say hi, Michael? And Keisha really did say hello to you just now. So, hey, Keisha. I bet Wes says hello too. All right. So we'll go and we'll tie this size 18 while Misha's saying hello to everyone. Hope dogs always see it. They do, Don. But we've been bragging about her too long, because she finally, when we had the Craig Matthews skins sitting out, Katie came down and heard her yell at Misha like she's never yelled at Misha. Katie doesn't yell at Misha. She really doesn't. And I heard her yell at her.
I don't really yell.
I'm like, oh no, what has she done? And I came down here and there's a pile of rough grouse feathers. And I was like, holy moly. Mm-hmm. And but thankfully, we had a bunch of the skins, but one of them was a miniature. So like you'd shot one, it wasn't like the big tail, it was just kind of a mini. He sells them for $6. And of all the ones she ate, it was a $6 one. So wasn't too upset. But
She's
that's
a
the
cheap
first
eater.
time. So I guess she prefers the cheaper stuff.
She likes the cheap stuff.
She don't like whiting too much. But anyway, so I'm gonna put about 5 wraps of the 010 wire, same way, backwards. 3, 4, 5. Pull this off. There we go. Slide up in the bead. I don't really want much.
Misha, James, and Les send you big hugs.
Oh boy.
Big ones. Oh, she'd love that. She's a hugger.
She would.
Oh, I think I do remember Don Bishop telling us about his beagles that ate the bucktails.
It's not the, and we've heard that a few times from people.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just doing a pretty bad job wrapping thread now. And we've got our, we got a 2mm bead, tungsten bead, not slotted. We got about 5 wraps or so of thread or of lead, the 010 lead and red thread. This is a 16, or sorry, this is an 18. So we're going to do about 7. How many is that? We're going to do this many so you guys can count. How many is that? 7?
6 or 7. 7.
Pull it off. Got the butt ends lined up somewhat. Pinch. Tips are somewhat lined up. We're going to do the exact same thing. Like if I try to grab it at the correct angle or correct length, I really won't have much to grab onto. So I purposely tie it long, and then I pull it to length because these things are short. It's about like that, and that is a lot shorter than you think it is. But we're going to wrap it up just like we did the last time. Right behind that lead, pop it off. And if you choose not to put lead on here, that's fine. Ain't no thing but chicken wing. Some big bruiser browns in Michigan last June. Ooh. We're hoping that we will be in the beginning of June around Yellowstone, Idaho. I've got a work meeting in Denver, I think. And we're going to make that work meeting. We're going to extend it just a bit. For a job in Michigan, for a new Yarker. And man, if Michigan's a foreign country, wait till you come down to Tennessee. But Michigan gets cold, super cold. Okay, so just like how we did before when we what's up, BFOS? BFOS over on Twitter, Instagram. So I'm doing small pinches of this dubbing. That way it wraps tightly around the thread. Don't want the body to be loose. No loosey-goosey. And then in the size 18, I don't need much. So hopefully I won't take any off on this. So you can see I've got my, there's about a 1/4 inch or so of thread. Just kind of put it right here. Oh, shoot. Here, bring it back so it starts right by this whole point of doing this. I don't have a whole bunch of thread build up there. All right, first wrap. Now we're just going to bring it up. So something like that. It's a little chunky, but that is an 18, so it's small. So now I'm going to bring this back around. Same thing with our wire, counter wrap it. Nice little segmentations. Just like this. Wrap it dubbing back. Okay, so remember when we're catching the wire off, cross your thread, do a tight wrap, cross it, tight, cross it, tight. And now we can twist that off. Now we use that same tinsel, if I can find it. There it is. We'll hold it Hold it in the angle.
It's kind of like you roll it over.
Yep. Absolutely.
She's getting the Christmas decorations out of the windows again.
Oh, she likes her little toys and stuff, and she thinks because Katie has put, reindeers and Santa Claus and stuff in the windows that she's just hiding her toys, so they're just playing a game. Thanks, Michigan. Well, if you're from Michigan, post some pictures of Michigan and tag Nan in them. So we'll do the same thing. We'll tie this one. It's probably way too much. Just a thicker dubbing noodle, short but thick. Don't need much. And then we're ready to rock and roll. So we might tie another one, might not, but Katie showed a couple tools, the Umpqua Dreamstream razor scissors, along with a dubbing twister, an Umpqua dubbing twister, and what else was it, honey? Oh, and if Judge To Be Good, who won a couple weeks ago, if he doesn't send us an email or chime in or anything, we'll throw in that Umpqua box with the iridescent Frenchies to the winner of next week. How do you enter, you may ask? Tie up your version of the Tungsten Surveyor. Use hashtag Whip Finish Wednesday, and that'll get you in the drawing to win. Another way to get in is once we posted this YouTube video, comment on the video. We had actually, I think that's how Judge To Be Good. That's how he won, because he posted a comment. All right, so I'm glad you like these multiple cameras.
I know.
Good work with the video, Katie.
I really appreciate that, because it's been a lot more difficult and just multifaceted than I anticipated.
It is difficult for sure. You won't believe how hard I work on it.
Mm-hmm. You do.
Okay,
In fact, I finished the video today that the tutorial, and I was like, it's all done. And then I realized that I forgot to do the main thing, which was cut shots.
Yeah, it was great. Just didn't have any of those. All right. So I'm going to pull all these long fibers. See where they're all coming for the most part from the,
it's a beard.
Yeah. It's like a little beard from the thorax of the fly. Grab it, scissors right there where they're touching the hook point, cut off. And now we're good. We got the body. It's good. And now I'm ready for my whip finish. Make it look easy. Yeah, Katie needs I'm just up here looking goofy. Katie's one needs the credit. Because I promise you, without Katie, this will not happen. Message me on Instagram and I'll find a few to send you tomorrow. I'm assuming you're talking about pictures of Michigan. Just take a picture of your back door.
Well, thanks, Truman. He likes the fade transition.
Yeah, and if there's any if there's something that you like, please tell us. As far as the video is concerned, if there's stuff that you're like, hey, we can't hear something, or maybe if you did this,
or you can tell John. Don't tell me; it'll hurt my feelings.
True, kind of will. But if there's something that you'd like to see different, let us know. We might say no, sorry, but it is good to know. It is good to know for sure. So you see, we got the nice little red collar on there. That little size 18 is looking nice. Got a little tail. We've got our segmentation. The thing's buggy. I'll probably trim it up a little bit more.
It's good.
Right there. Get rid of that. And that's looking fine. So anywho, let's do one more quick one while we're on a roll. But I like this one right here, having this one about, depending on the depth of the water, 12 to 18 inches above my point fly, using this as a dropper. But if this was working, I'd have no problem tying the jig version on the bottom and throwing the same pattern, just different configurations, different hooks. And for me, the one I'm going to tie, the size 16. Well, hello, mate. Do you like that? Is that smelly enough to you? You want maybe? Oh, honey, I'd appreciate it if you didn't. So I hope that made sense. What's up, Mr. Holsinger? You need to hop over on YouTube, Sean. It's much better. Otherwise, you just sit and stare at the Vise and you're missing the dog and all sorts of stuff. Hey, Deb. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, what kind of hooker we got?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
This is a size 16. So it's one size smaller, Umpqua XC400 BL with the, I'm trying, a 2.5 millimeter slotted tungsten bead in silver. And there we go. So on the size 14, we did about 8 wraps. I might do 6 wraps of lead on this one. I mean, we're kind of like overthinking it a bit. But remember, grab enough to hold on to. I hold it here and I will do 6 wraps. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I want to helicopter it. You can see how it broke off right at the hook shank. Slide it forward. Make sure my bead's right. It is not. And when I say it's not, is see how the hook shank looks like it's going right in the middle of the bead? That's not how it's supposed to look. So I'll just back this off. I'll rotate it until it is correct. Now do you see how the bead is off-centered and there's more bead on top of the hook shank because it's going to ride like this than there is on the bottom of the hook shank. That's correct. So we just put our fingernail here and we helicopter it off again. Hope that comes off. There we go. We got our lead on there. Why is it called a Surveyor? I do not know. It's a good one. Probably because the pheasant tail was going to disappear soon. It might. You never know. Probably because it's a good one to like maybe survey when you're kind of starting off. I don't know. What to ask Lance. Okay, so we got our see we got a little ramp there. I'll bring it back. We'll pull off this beautiful pheasant tail. So we'll go, this is 16. So we've got, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. So about that many. I'm going to take a couple of them off. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3. That might be 7 or 8. Might be a little light. Got my butt ends lined up. I'll pinch it. Now my tips are pretty lined up, although they're kind of broken a little bit. So take my tips, bring the thread up, down, make sure that tail is on top of the hook shank, and it is. Pull the length. I want the tail to be just a touch longer than the back of that, than the bend. So short tail. Maybe the hook gap, maybe half the distance of the body. But you'll see that is a short tail, which is what we're wanting. Hey, David. Brother lives in Michigan. I try to get him to see them. Katie, you can tell the fishing story we've got in Michigan if you'd like.
It was very cold and it snowed while we were fishing.
It was. I don't even know if it was snowing, but it was blowing so much you thought it was snowing because it was blowing the snow off the drifts.
We were on the Pier Marquette and it was extremely cold, and there was a heater on the boat.
Propane heater, yeah. It was.
And I hooked into a steelhead, and it took off down the river, and
it never stopped.
Never stopped. The guy with us jumped out of the boat and even tried to like wade down the river to catch it, but it went around a bend and broke off. So good times.
My highlight was I had to go to the bathroom. Just number one. And I had to get out of the boat and crawl up a snowbank to go to the bathroom. Like, dude, I can go off the back of this boat.
Yes, they made him get off the boat to go pee.
I'm like, man, in Tennessee,
and it was like snowing.
I was serious, but I was joking at the same time. Like, I mean, Katie goes off the side of the boat. You tell me I gotta go? Okay. So I had to get in. It's one of those times you get out of the boat and like you think you're in knee deep to waist deep water, and you get down to the water comes up to here, you're like, oh my gosh, and it's like blowing, like, so you're wet, cold. Katie's laughing.
I was like, I don't need to go to the bathroom.
She's like, I don't want it to go that bad.
Mm-mm.
All right, so and I'm really taking my time tying these. This is a quick, easy pattern to tie. The fundamentals are keep the body thin. Don't build in a whole bunch of taper or anything because you already have the taper with the lead. Hey, that'll work out good like that. So you see we got a little taper there. We'll bring this around, do our segmentation, do our ribbing with this silver wire. Like this. Cross. Remember, when you're tying off counter wrap wire, not straight up and down, but take the wire take your thread when it hits the wire, bring it over. So we're crossing it. So one crossing, one in front. That 3 times. It cuts it off. Neoprene waders. Yeah, that was one of the few times I really felt like we needed neoprene. Okay. So now we'll pull out if I can find it. Pull out our tinsel. See, this is, like I said, this is not, if you're like me and you sit and talk the whole time, it takes a while to tie it, but otherwise, see, we've got a nice little tied in. So we're ready to go. We'll check and make sure it's going to be on top. See how it looks good. It's on top. And we'll take off some, take out some dubbing. I need just a pinch more. Way too much. Thanks everyone on Instagram is watching. Feel free to hop over on YouTube. You'll be able to see better. And you'll be able to see Katie and hear Katie better as well. There we go. Might have gone back a little far on that, but see how it's big and chunky and not cool? Just kind of rough it out. This is called, I think Joel said it. We banged this one out.
Mm-hmm.
So pull all that back, pull this forward, take a look at it, make sure it's on top, pull tight. See how it's on top. 2 behind, 2 in front. It's locked off. Just nick the corner of it and it'll pop off. I like to pull everything up. The reason I'm doing it this way is because if I was trying to pull it down the way it normally would go and I go to cut it, I'm probably going to cut my thread. I know that from experience. And the reason I don't do it after I've trimmed off my thread is because I've got the way I glue everything is I've got wet Sally Hansen's. And once I'm done wet finishing, I just want to stick it in the cup and be done with it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we go. Nice little tungsten surveyor, ready to rock and roll. A little extra weight. That thing is going to look nice. Work nice as well, I think. Feel it, and each week you guys are getting better with this frame. Well, so you can see the bug better. Just in case anyone's interested in the entire series of Office Blu-ray, $50 Amazon. Cool. Knock yourself out. Get you a copy of that. Well, thank you, Mark. It has definitely been a learning process, and Katie has done a phenomenal job learning how to work these different cameras, the microphones, YouTube. It is, and then having Misha try not to trip over cables is a chore. And what's up, On Stream Assassins? Glad you're back on here. So I didn't go over anything for Christmas. If you need any of this stuff, Devin Olson, I believe, still running that deal on Tactical Fly Fisher where it's 10% off with Demuth. That's not an affiliate code. We don't get anything. It's just giving you 10% off. These CNF hack pliers are great. If you get a chance to find those, one of those things that are kind of expensive for what they are. I really like that CNF comb. I feel like it works a little bit better than the Stomfo, the plastic one. However, you're talking less than $10 for a plastic comb that's about $8 overpriced, and then you've got a metal comb that's what, $50. That's probably about $45 overpriced. But for Christmas present, that CNF comb's nice. You see me using this Swiss CDC clip. Really cool. Really cool. I like that a lot. So there's a few things. You don't have those in your collection, but right now it looks like everyone's looking at books. So hopefully
Books are great.
Books are great. There we go. Instagram. So Jeff, thank you so much. Thanks, Chris. Thank you to everyone who hopped on with us. We'll let everyone go. And to those of you on YouTube, you all have a phenomenal evening. Or sorry, those of you on Instagram, you'll have a phenomenal evening. Everyone on YouTube, I'll turn it over to Katie and let her say goodbye. Thank you so much for putting up with us. We will see you next Wednesday night. And until then, happy time, guys.
That's what she said. Have a great week, guys. Tie up some cool bugs.
See you, John Collins.
Bye.
I'm glad you hopped on. I didn't know you were here. See you, Don, Joel. So I think of people who went and sing. Christine Gonzalez, good night. And Jimmy Roop, thank you. It's awesome seeing everyone saying hello and good night. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. See you guys next Wednesday night. Bye.